Hi, welcome. So this video is going to be quickly comparing the new Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez liquid blush, the soft pinch line, with the Glossier cloud paints, which are ever popular, probably like one of the first liquid blushes that were really big on the market. I have seen a ridiculous amount of first impression videos on Rare Beauty, and everyone tries it out and they're like, oh, this is super nice. And while it is really helpful to see swatches and demos of how the formula performs on skin, I think a lot of those videos just kind of talk about how nice this is, but don't really delve into comparing it to other things that exist on the market. And like when I see new shiny things, I always think kind of like that meme of like, Mom, can I have this? And then the mom's like, no, but we have this at home. And yeah, like I just try to think of all the things that I have already that work great for me. So yeah, let's get into it. So first off, comparing prices and the amount that you get, the Soft Pinch Liquid Blush is $20 for 0.25 ounces, and the Glossier Cloud Paint is $18 for 0.33 ounces. I guess technically the Glossier ones are more cost effective, but honestly I wouldn't really worry too much about the amount that you're getting, because the soft pinch blushes are so pigmented that you just need the tiniest bit. Like, you're not gonna worry about it being used up anytime soon. So yeah, I think both are decent value for money at that mid-range price point, and they both deliver like a nice product that is, well, all makeup is incredibly marked up, but they give you like that nice luxurious feeling, and the product is good to work with. So both have somewhat justifiable price points. I think, so I only have this like mini version here, so keep that in mind. And I have the Glossier Cloud Paint in Dusk, whereas the Soft Pinch blush is in Grace. The Soft Pinch blush comes in two different formulas. There's a matte formula and a dewy formula. Most liquid blushes and cream blushes have been really marketing towards that like super dewy and glass skin and super natural effect. So it was definitely nice to have something a little bit more varied. The cloud paints come in 6 colors, whereas the soft pinch technically comes in 8 colors, but 4 in the dewy range and 4 in the matte range. Getting into the packaging. So a lot of people have big complaints about the Glossier Cloud Paint packaging because it's easy to squeeze out too much, but what I've done is I've just poked a little pinhole into the top of the like little foil. I never peeled it off, I just poked a hole into it, and it makes it really easy to dispense like just the right amount out. See, I can get a little droplet, and the Glossier formula is this kind of liquidy gel-like formula. It doesn't slide anywhere, but it is definitely very light and watery. It's super easy to blend out, and while quite pigmented, this little bit is probably enough for both my cheeks. This shade is kind of hard to compare with the other ones because I think that the pigmentation in the Glossier line ranges, whereas like Dusk is definitely somewhat of a lighter shade, so it's not going to look aggressively pigmented, but say Storm, that's like a more berry color, that one definitely has a bit more oomph, and you have to be a little bit more careful not to over apply. In contrast, so the soft pinch applicators, I only have the mini, but the full size also has a doe foot applicator, which I think is really nice. I think that's like just a great and super logical way to apply a liquid formula instead of like the M Cosmetics dropper nonsense that is so hard to work with, and trying to squeeze out the exact amount of this like pretty liquidy formula is definitely harder than just like getting however much is on the droplet and then like Just rubbing this much onto the back of the hand is a lot more easier and controlled than trying to squeeze out the amount you want. And depending on the formula, it would be nice to just tap this on your face. However, because the soft pinch formula is so pigmented, I really don't like tapping it directly onto my face, especially like this doe foot applicator is teeny tiny already, right? I think that the full-size one would kind of be too big and give you too much blush to work with. So, for example, I'll blend this dot out and see, that's pretty bright, and that was just like a tiny dot. As I blend further, you can kind of see, like, that's about how much blush I would want on one cheek. You know, that's already like pretty bright. So what I will usually do is I'll tap it onto the back of my hand, pick it up with a finger, and then try to blend it out quickly. So I think that these two formulas are actually really comparable on the face. And that's also part of why I didn't bother demoing it on camera, because I don't think you would really be able to see a huge difference. And the two colors I have are so different that like it would be hard to compare. But the Glossier Cloud Paint starts out feeling really dewy. It's easy to like blend out because it's so liquidy. And then it has a really skin-like finish, but it doesn't stay dewy, it doesn't stay tacky. It just kind of dries away into this really nothing feeling for me. Like however my skin felt before I put on the cloud paint is how it feels after I finished like tapping it in. So if it was like dewy because I put a lot of moisturizer on, it'll still feel like that. If it was dry because I powdered it, it'll still feel like pretty dry. Dry sounds like bad, not flaky or anything, but not like super dewy or like there's a lot of product. It is super skin-like, easy to blend out. This particular color is not hard to overdo, but I think with the deeper ones, you might find that. In contrast, kind of, the soft pinch formula, it is more pigmented, so you have to be more careful when blending it out. And I think, obviously you can find a lot of swatches, but I think these are, even in the lighter shades, more pigmented than you would expect, so be very careful. But they have a very like dimethicone-y, silicone-y feel, like the Smashbox primers is what I'm thinking of. So even though it's matte and very pigmented, it slips around like a lot and kind of feels like it's turning into powder as you're blending it out. So as long as you don't have too much product to work with to start with, I think you can blend out whatever you have pretty easily. I find that working with the soft pinch formula with my fingers is far better than either a brush or a sponge. I definitely feel like I need the friction of like my skin to drag the product around to really get the edges blended out. If I kind of try to tap it in with my beauty blender, sometimes I'll just like get a bunch of dots picking up on my sponge, and I feel like unless I really drag my sponge across my face, it doesn't blend out as nicely. And yeah, I just feel like fingers are by far the easiest to go with this formula. But after all is said and done, with this matte color and grace, you definitely have a really nice, soft, matte looking finish. It does kind of blur the skin a teeny bit, and as you run the fingers across where you just put it, it feels like it's been powdered. So if you're an oily skin person and you've always wanted to get into the whole liquid blush game or cream blush game, but found, wow, these are just too dewy for my oily skin to handle, these would be a really awesome one to check out. But all in all, I think that both of these formulas will work well for most people. Both formulas have good lasting power. They both don't leave too much of a feeling on the skin. They both feel thin. They won't do anything really to make your skin feel too oily throughout the day. Yeah, they're just both like super solid liquid blushes, and I think whether you choose one or the other will come down to like color preference, packaging preference, and like, I don't know, whether or not you want to go order off like the Glossier website, or you just feel more comfortable shopping from Sephora. Yeah, I definitely find like a lot of overlap in who this product would appeal to. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I hope this was helpful. And yeah, I know this was quick and I didn't do demos, but definitely let me know if this was helpful for you. And thank you for watching.